July 1st, 2024. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. There was one piece of economic data that came out, which is the ISM Manufacturing PMI at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard, which is right here. You see this big spike. But up until then, prices looked like they were range bound, so it spiked up. And I would say in about a couple minutes, it quickly kind of just sold and recovered and then went past that. So there were a couple of decent trades today, and then I also took two trades as well for being green on both. I'm going to go into the charts right now. Overall, prices just kind of stayed in a, 35-point trading range, but it looked like in that trading range, there were a little more cleaner setups. Now, this is a holiday week with no trading on Thursday for the 4th of July, and then I think half-day trading on Wednesday, the day before. So I think the volume is going to start tapering off tomorrow, definitely Wednesday. And then on Friday, I have to imagine that a lot of people that have July 4th off, which would be pretty much everybody in the US, would probably take off Friday to make it like a long 4-day weekend. So I imagine Friday might be some slow trading as well. I might as well just take off Friday and then maybe just look at it on Wednesday. So tomorrow I think would be the only last real appreciable time to take a decent trade for this week, because it's kind of strange that, well, it's not strange, it's just unique when 4th of July lands in the middle of the week, because it kind of disrupts the flow of things. So here we go. In the pre-market, there was like two legs up. It hits and finds a resistance, then makes two legs back down. So it's two legs up, two legs down, finds the pre-market low, and then starts moving back up on this yellow up channel. I did see this as a potential trade, but I didn't take it, mainly because I don't like to trade the pre-market, and I wasn't really, fully present to really try to take trades in the pre-market. It's too early for me. But I did see kind of like, technically this is the new high, but I count this as one visual, one leg down after the break of this yellow down channel, one leg down, one attempt up to test the highs, second leg down. This is a pretty decent looking signal bar with a potential reversal to go back up. This is a little bit, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but you do seem like you have the start of a potential trading range here. So this, I thought, may have been a trade if this had happened in real time. Starts moving up, and then the market opens for regular trading hours. You do have a new low, first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short here. Break of this green channel. Tested and made a new high, but the signal bar isn't very good, so I want to leave it alone. And when you see this, there is enough room, especially when we see this in real time. I'm not thinking short yet, and I'm thinking it wants to come up to hit the pre-market high. But it already reverses, so you do have a second entry short here, but that's, clearly after the fact that the move has been made. Prices in continue, it chops sideways, it moves down on what I think is this yellow down channel, has a small break here, but then it has a more deliberate break, and it starts falling down on this orange down channel. Now, it's really interesting when it came down and it met the pre-market low, which is right here, as you can see. It breaks. So the first break of this of this orange down channel, I'm expecting a test of this low, but I also kept in mind that it made a double bottom off the bottom of the pre-market low. So even though it broke, it may come back down here, or it may start just acting like a range and start moving back up. So you do have a first entry short. Technically, I have a second entry short. It's a good signal bar for a second entry short, but all the previous bars are a little indecisive. There's too much wick on each side, so I didn't think it was a risk worth taking. Plus, it looked like they had trouble 3 times previously to break below the support. And then they had a fourth time, as you can see. Then it flashes up, so I see potentially one leg up, two small legs down, and then maybe another measured move up. Flashes up, but this is right when the the ISM Manufacturing PMI news comes out. So I don't like to be stuck in a trade or, have a lot of slippage. So usually stay away from news releases like this. Prices move up, kind of comes back down, There's a new high, say first entry long, pullback, second entry long, and I see this second entry long fails right here. So it's two legs up. This is pretty much the news event reaction has played out. So it is a first entry long, second entry long. You have a failed second entry long here. But in this instance, when I see this, I'm not thinking of going short because yes, this orange down channel needs to test low, but it didn't have a good enough close of the signal bar. So now you clearly have a failed second entry long, but now I'm looking also as a new low first entry short. Here you have a potential second entry short. I thought this is an almost trade because now you do have a confirmed second entry short. But in real time, I saw this. I didn't take any action because I didn't like that this is an inside bar. It's a good close, but I need at least one tick above this one. So I need to see this red candle move one tick up, then flush down to kind of capture any potential people thinking of going long, or even better, and besides the one tick up, I needed this to close below the open of this, but ideally below the low of this. But even if that did happen, I don't know that necessarily I take this trade because that makes this bar even bigger, which means my risk to reward math changes and it's a even higher risk on this particularly, I would say, so setup because this yellow down channel is looking to test if it's low. It almost did it here. Is it going to do it on the next one? In this point in time, you really don't know. And if this had closed much stronger, technically it makes another double bottom here. So it'd be one tick below here, and it would set up a triple test. So this is what I consider an almost trade. So it's kind of like if it set up the way I liked it, then it kind of creates other issues that I think would cause me to hesitate to take the trade. Nevertheless, it does flush down, so it would have worked if you were more aggressive or you had a better chart read than I did. Prices move, it breaks out of the pre-market low. I just marked this for myself because I just noticed like, okay, there's a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. You could consider this a new localized high because it's higher than this previous stuff. It also creates a first entry long here, pullback, second entry long. The second entry long here looks like it's about to fail. So the problem with I didn't mark it as a real trade is it closed too close to the lows and the low of the day. So it could very easily break through here or bounce here, try two attempts up and then continue down. But it doesn't do that, it just keeps going down. So it's just something I noticed in real time because I was tempted to take this trade, but I stopped myself mainly because although it's a good signal bar, for potential failed second entry long, there's no real room to get out. So it would have been a less than high probability trade and it would have been dicey. Plus, if I was wrong and the prices actually moved up, I'd be beating myself up, kind of wondering why I took a mediocre trade. So better to just have let it go than to end up red. Prices then continue. It kind of finds the bottom, pushes up strongly through. It looks like it's going to re-enter this pre-market high range or pre-market low. Kind of rejects, moves up. This orange up channel breaks, finds a new high, kind of consolidates. It looks like it's just chopping sideways. This actually sets up for my first trade. So when I see this candle, I see, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, a triple test. I have new high, first entry long, pullback. This is about to create a second entry long. I don't know yet. There's also a new low here. First entry short, second entry short. Now, this second entry short looks like it's losing momentum. So this second entry short, if it creates a second entry long, confirms it, then it technically by default creates a failed second entry short. And there's a triple test. It's ranging. Yes, the orange up channel broke and tested a new high, but it also playing off the strength of this pre-market low, it's finding support. So I found more reasons to believe it would at least move one tick up, or not one tick up, but move enough to give me my small little scalp profit target. And even though this isn't a good signal bar for second entry long, it's only about 7 ticks. So I decided to take this trade. So what happens is it opens, it flushes down by 1 tick from its open. It momentarily kind of hangs out here. I quickly drop my order in right at the high of this previous, not the best signal bar, but I drop it in. and then it quickly fills me, so I was pretty happy. I wanted to make sure I got out before I had to deal with the potential resistance up here. So I was able to get the quick trade. Looks like if I was aiming for more, I probably could have gotten a second point, but I'm running against a very potential strong resistance here. Then it flushes down. So anything more than that, it likely would have turned out to be a losing trade. It moves down this orange down channel, kind of pushes. I think I see what could be this bigger purple down channel. I saw a new low here, first entry short, second entry short. This is also what I consider an almost trade because EMA is holding prices down now. Also, I like that it moved one tick up and then flushed down. Unfortunately, this potential signal bar closed too bullish. I needed to close stronger bearish, lower. But I also like that it was potentially a third test rejection of this purple down channel, which is fitting relatively nicely. So unfortunately, it wasn't a good enough signal bar. I let it go, and it would have worked though. But of course, you don't know that in real time. Prices then continue moving down, starts moving and migrating back up, breaks out and above the EMA. Your first entry short here, flushes, it gets a little noisy here. And then here, what I see is I first drew this support. I actually had it a lot different because I was having something to this effect. Didn't look like it fit too well. It looked like it fit a little bit better here. And I saw this as a possible trade as a new high, visual first entry long pullback, potential second entry long. But clearly you do have a new low here. First entry short, second entry short. Second entry short technically on this candle hasn't failed yet, but it looks like it's on its way. And I thought this might have been a possible trade because even though there's a break of this green up channel, it made one attempt up and it looked like it's about to make a second attempt up. But there was a couple things going for it. I just wasn't 100% sure, so I just kind of left it alone. But I did like the signal bar. Then, if you knew there's so much momentum still behind this to flush it up, then, it would have been a no-brainer. But with my experience, I just didn't know. I haven't seen this enough to have that kind of confidence. Prices then continue moving up on this yellow up channel. Just watching. You have a new high, first entry long, second entry long. It's a bad signal bar to go long on. The only thing you have going for it, it is bouncing off this confirmed trend line going up. Had this at least closed higher or at least above the EMA, then I would have jumped in on this trade. It looks like it's touching the highs, coming back to the lows. Because here I was thinking there could be a chance, it creates a better signal bar. Unfortunately, this was a signal bar, flushes up, hits the top, it's coming back down, testing. It kind of falls into this range. This is actually where I take my second trade. So I see this as a push up. It's clearly within and obeying this yellow up channel. This second attempt here didn't quite make it to the top. That's okay. I'm seeing also it's consolidating in what I think is a range. So what I have is I have potentially 1, 2, 3 triple test. I have a bounce off this yellow up channel. There's already 2 key entry points. Signal bar, granted, isn't the best. Ideally, I wanted it to close right above the EMA and bullish, like super bullish right at the highs. But this is already pretty decent. It is, I guess, technically below the EMA, but in real time, this EMA line hasn't been drawn. You only see it now is because the next candle printed, and this is aftermarket now. So at the time, you could have argued that it closed right at the EMA, and that's what I thought. It closed right at the EMA. It's a break of this green up channel. Looked like it's kind of ranging. So I saw 1 attempt down, 2 attempt down, bounce off of here, potentially another continuation move up. So kind of seeing all this and seeing that there's enough room before I hit the pre-market lows, just enough, and even better, more room before I hit the trading range high, I decided to take the trade. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. So I enter 1 tick above, kind of flushed around, and I got my fill. And that's pretty much all that I wanted. Prices then continue moving up. It bounces again. So if this signal bar or this bar had closed more bullish, I may have just taken a first entry because this yellow up channel is already, it's proven itself. It is clearly a strong support. But unfortunately, there was a little doubt in the formation and close of this bar. I had to leave it alone. I'm now looking for a second entry long though, ideally similar to this. but you don't get a second entry long. So after seeing this, it felt a little bit of FOMO, but it's okay because I'm not here to take first entries, especially one that isn't at least near perfect. Breaks out. So now it's dwelling outside this trading trend channel. And I'm thinking if there's going to be another price move back down and potentially a matching symmetric, I guess, overshoot in the bottom side. Prices consolidate. It's just really tight trading right here. You have a first entry long, technically you have a second entry long. This isn't a good signal bar. Nothing there. Bounces. It's holding off this. So now I have a lot of confidence in this support, this channel. So here I was debating a new low, first entry short, second entry short, debating whether there was enough for a quick trade, but like a failed second entry short. But I didn't like that there's clearly some kind of resistance here because it had trouble previously, it broke out, and now it's having trouble again. So it looks like if you did try to take the long here, you would have gotten filled and likely, depending on where you had to stop, been stopped out right here. At least I'm pretty sure that's what would have happened to me. So now it's definitely clearly in the trading range. Prices are just, there are second entries in here, but they're very tight because each subsequent candle is really close to the same size as each previous candle. So it's just like moving one tick above, one tick below. It just felt like Trap City, unless I was really good at scalping in and out very rapidly before the candle closed, like just jumping in and out, but I'm not that good. So I just left it alone. I did see this as a failed breakout. So it's not really a failed breakout out here, but it's like first entry long, second entry long. It's a pretty decent signal bar, second entry long, and a failed breakout. I thought this was a possible trade. When I saw this in real time, I was thinking, is there a trade here? And I think there is, but I was a little more conservative. I was skipping because it's making lower lows each time. And even though the signal bar is pretty awesome, it like broke one tick below and then reversed up. It failed to push past the highs of this. Now, I think I would have jumped in, no doubt, if this candle broke one tick above this guy, or at the least matched the high and closed at the high. So this would have been like a very strong bullish candle meeting the high, ideally one tick above. And I probably would have jumped in on this and it would have negated my fears of these lower lows every time. But it doesn't do that and just kind of, close one tick below and then one tick below this guy. And just kind of keep flushing this up. Creates a second entry short. It's a new low here. It's first entry short, second entry short. I thought this was a possible trade. I think going for it is I like the one tick push up and then strong reversal. It's a break of this orange. The break of the orange up channel already occurred here. So this is a break here and a test of the high already. So now when it ticks one up and flushes down, it's a strong reversal for strong close. Ideally, the best entry would have been on an engulfing because this is only a 5-tick candle. It's not the best signal bar. If this was red, then it would have been an absolutely awesome setup. But it is above the EMA, so the second entry short gives me a little bit of doubt. This one moves one tick up and flushes down, so the best trade would have been on an engulfing. I suppose if you did wait for this candle to close, there's still enough room for a scalp. But then by then, I just, I wasn't quite sure, so I had to leave it alone. Then prices move back down on this green channel, finds a little bit of support here, bounces, break of this green channel. I'm looking for a test of this low, first entry short, second entry short. There is a potential second entry short. Signal bar isn't good here, but it did move one tick above and then flush down. I didn't like it though because it's already, by the end of this, the close of this is too much risk. There's just no room to get out. Bounces, you technically have a triple test, maybe even 4 tests, but momentum to the bullish side is running out. It looks like it's creating lower highs every time. So now I'm just sitting on my hands. It reverses strongly though, and it's hard to know that it would have done that with this doji bar. Bounces around, then it has a fail breakout, and then flushes down. Then it flushes down strongly, so no clean trade here. Reverses. It gets a little choppy, break of this yellow up channel, flush to the other side. Too many dojis here, so it's a strong signal to just like, okay, there's a lot of indecision, stay out. EMA does hold and it flushes up, and now it just kind of gets into the last 10 minutes of the day where it gets a little more volatile, so definitely no trades there. So kind of how I saw the setups today. Got 2 green trades out of it. There are 2 trades. One of them I think was a decent trade that I could have taken. Unfortunately, I missed, which is probably this one. And then this one was another possible trade, but I wasn't sure of these lower lows. Just wanted a couple, maybe just one more thing in the favor of taking the trade. And for whatever reason, my checklist wasn't satisfied, so I had to skip them. But in hindsight, I think there would have been probably possible trades. So hopefully that was helpful.